The plane touched down. It felt like landing on another planet. America. The name itself felt huge. It was a place I knew mostly from movies and news reports. My heart pounded. It was a mix of fear and something else. A tiny spark of wonder. What would I find here? Would this place swallow me whole, or would I find my footing? The airport was the first test. JFK. It was a universe in itself. So many people. Rushing, shouting, signs everywhere, in a language I thought I knew. But American English felt different. Faster, louder. The customs officer looked serious. I clutched my passport. My hands were sweating. I just wanted to get through, to breathe. The English I learned in school? It was a good start. But American English was a different beast. Full of slang I'd never heard. Idioms that made no sense. People spoke so fast. I would nod, smile, pretend I understood. Then I'd walk away wondering what just happened. Asking, "Can you repeat that?" made me feel foolish. So sometimes I just guessed. Bad idea. Then there were the everyday things. Supermarkets felt like giant warehouses. Aisles and aisles of choices. 50 types of cereal. 100 kinds of soda. Why so many? It was paralyzing. And the portion sizes at restaurants. One meal could feed my entire family back home. Tipping was another mystery. How much? When? To whom? It felt like a secret code. Culture shock wasn't just one big thing, it was 1,000 little paper cuts. These small moments piled up. My guard was always up, especially in the beginning. I walked around with a certain tension, expecting confusion, bracing for misunderstandings. The news headlines about America often painted a picture of a divided, sometimes harsh place. It was hard to shake those images. Every new interaction felt like a potential challenge, but then, something small would happen. Something unexpected. I got lost on the subway. Terribly lost. Staring at a map that looked like spaghetti. A woman noticed my confusion. She gently asked if I needed help. And then she explained the route, patiently, with a kind smile. It was a small gesture, but it felt huge. Like a tiny light in a very dark tunnel. Another time I was struggling with my groceries. A young man stopped. He offered to help me carry them to my door. Slowly, I started to venture out more, beyond the tourist spots, into the neighborhoods. Each one felt like a different country, a different world within the city. The sounds changed, the smells changed, the faces changed. There was the vibrant energy of a Latino neighborhood, the quiet charm of a tree-lined street, the artistic buzz of another area. It was a patchwork quilt of cultures, all stitched together somehow. I found a small coffee shop, tucked away on a side street. It became my regular spot. The owner learned my name, my usual order. We'd exchange a few words each morning, a simple routine, but it created a sense of belonging. I started seeing the same faces there, other regulars, a nod of recognition, a shared smile. I started to listen more intently, not just to words, but to the music of the voices. America wasn't just one accent, it was a symphony of them. English spoken with the lilt of Spanish, the rhythm of Chinese, the melody of Italian, and countless other influences. Then there were the regional American accents, each distinct, each telling a story of place and people. It was incredible, a living, breathing tapestry of tongues. I made an effort to talk to people. Really talk, not just polite hellos. I asked questions about their lives, their journeys, their families. I met people who had come to America from all corners of the globe, each with a unique story. Some came for opportunity, some for freedom, some for love. The America I carried in my head before arriving was built from movies and news. It was a land of extremes. Everyone was loud and confident, or so I thought. Everyone drove huge cars. Everyone loved guns and action. Stereotypes are like that. They are simple, they are easy. They paint a picture with very broad strokes. And often they miss the details. They miss the truth of individual lives. The reality was far more nuanced. Then I started meeting actual Americans, one by one. And the stereotypes began to crumble. I met quiet Americans, thoughtful ones. People who were more interested in listening than talking. I met humble people, people who were incredibly kind, and not everyone owned a gun or a giant truck. Many were worried about the same things people worry about everywhere, their families. That initial, gripping fear, it mostly faded away. It didn't vanish overnight, but slowly, steadily, it was replaced. Curiosity took its place, a genuine desire to understand this vast, complex country, not just to see the sights, but to experience the life, to connect with its pulse. I started to feel less like an outsider, and more like an observer, an eager student of American life. The anxiety lessened. I began to appreciate the freedoms here, the space to be yourself, to express your opinions even if they are unpopular. The feeling that you can try something new, start a business, pursue a dream. There's an energy of possibility, an undercurrent of optimism, even when things are tough. Failure is not always seen as the end, but as a lesson, a stepping stone. This was inspiring. The American dream. I'd heard that phrase so many times, before I came, while I was here. It used to mean a house, a car, a white picket fence, a neat, tidy package of success. But living here, I saw it was more complicated than that, more personal. For many, the dream was changing, evolving. It had to. The old version didn't fit everyone. It didn't fit the new realities of the world. For some, the dream was still about material success. But for others, it was about something else. It was about having a voice, being heard. It was about freedom from oppression. It was about the opportunity to get an education, to build a community, to simply be safe. For people who came from so many different places with so many different hopes, the dream had to be flexible. It had to be big enough to hold all those aspirations.